Hey everyone, it's Bodyguard. I'm back again to cover humans. There was an upload for a few minutes that I didn't actually like how it turned out, so gonna try it again here. So first off, we're gonna start with our basic humans. So whenever you hover over a unit, you'll notice the little toolbar comes up. Just gonna spawn a few civilians. They're kind of basic. You can't control them. Kind of the idea that civilians are just unrowdy, or rowdy, uncontrollable, not disciplined. Pretty much a little bit of a wild card there. They do have a few basics, though. They can be bitten, they can try to run away when they see a zombie. If there's doors around, they'll try to go through doors and stuff to get away from them. They don't always make the right move, though. For the most part, though, they'll wander around. They wander through a broken, wall, they'll fix it up. But for the most part, they're here to get bitten and infected. Which brings us to our second ones, the cops. Now if we go over here, they've got a lot more health, and they're your first armed unit. They've got pistols for long range with low damage, and they've got shotguns, which will shred anything up close, but the shotguns do have to reload, and they are slow on shooting, and relatively close range. They're your first ones where you can control them. You can kind of send them around, you can tell them AI move, you can put them back human control, you can patrol them around, whatever you want to do there. Kind of the next step is the SWAT officers here. So we have two of them here. They have two weapons, both kind of utility here. The SMG, you'll notice, does really low damage, but it stops zombies from moving. The shield does 0 damage, but it blocks zombies and pushes them back. So he's kind of like your mobile barricade. You can see he's pushing them back, the SMG is stopping them from moving. You put him over there, the SMG will hold that one while he's holding those, while these guys do the real damage. They work really good as a pair, but just to note, he is getting hurt when those zombies are bouncing off them. He has really high armor, so he'll survive a lot of gunshots, a lot of zombies, but he will be getting hurt. Which brings us over to medics. Medics have two tools here. They have a pistol, which does very, very little damage, and they have a healing syringe. We'll start off the healing syringe. In both cases, they have a radius around them where they're curing patients of infection. When you have the healing syringe out, you can see the green lines where they're healing people. But there's a little thing. They attach to the closest medic for healing. So if this one with the pistol who's not healing anyone comes up, he's not being healed anymore because this one is closer. He's still in range, as you can see. It's just until he walks away, that guy's not getting healed. Next, we're going to move over here, down here actually, to the soldiers. Soldiers are the next level up. They've got an assault rifle, high rate of fire, good range, pretty good accuracy, good damage. What you'd expect from soldiers. They also have a secondary, which is a sniper rifle, which is slow firing, but really long range and really hard hitting. We'll see, they'll take out the zombies pretty quick. Sniper will go pretty far out, but they also have an ability. Every so often, they'll throw a grenade out. See if we can't trigger that here. Put a bunch of soldiers. Back them up a bit. And this one is kind of a complete random ability. You can't trigger it. Yep, there we go. That grenade will go off in a moment, and it'll a few zombies, it'll take them out like that. So that's a new ability for them. Next, we're going to go up to another utility unit, which is these guys are Hazmat. They replaced the flamethrower troops that used to be in the game. They have the flamethrower, they also have an SMG for taking stuff out, and they have two abilities. I'm just going to kind of select. You have to select one initially. And in here we have Eradicate on the right, which is the eye. That is their first ability. They will become hostile to everything. The other is Screening. Screening, they will leave... This only affects civilians. If there's an infected civilian, like you'll see, they'll ignore these civilians here. Nothing to do with them. But if those civilians, say, become infected, they will start shooting them for us. You'll also notice that anyone around, like cops, soldiers, etc., they will start helping shoot the infected civilians. So, in theory, you can have one hazmat screening, and the rest of those soldiers and stuff will help finish off the infected that they find. Now, just gotta select around here for a second. The other ability is Eradicate. This makes them hostile to everyone else. They will clear the map of all infected, humans, anything. Kind of a good storytelling one. Our next group is going to be the Militia. They're a unique one. You can only get them from Jack here. He generates them with his ability there. We'll be going into a lot of detail on this, but we're just going to focus on them. They can't be spawned in normally at the moment. You have to use Jack and his ability. They are normal civilians. They have, I believe, 150 health, so they are in between civilian and cop. They have a weak pistol and a weak shotgun, both weaker than the police. So they are significantly weaker in a fight. We'll just spawn a zombie or two here, and you'll see, they still shoot, but it's a lot less powerful. Our next human is another one we'll be going into more detail on. They are not controllable. They are the helicopter bodyguards. They wander around kind of a set radius around the helicopters. If there's multiple helicopters and one leaves, they'll stick around it. But they're another human that technically can be spawned in, but you can't spawn them yourself, and they have unique behavior. And last we have the Raiders. Raiders are humans. They start off in what we see up here in the top left, Peace Mode on. They have an AK-47 and a weak pistol. We'll notice that they really don't care about anyone else. They'll work with the police and everything when Peace Mode is on. They don't really mind. They'll work with the militia. But they will still attack zombies, so you put a zombie there. They'll join in on shooting it until we turn Peace Mode off. You go into human, turn off Peace Mode, and there we have it. They are going to town fighting the police, fighting the soldiers, everything. There's just a few things to keep in mind with them. They're more like Fallout Raiders. They're not strong. Sure, they'll easily take on the militia. They'll take out all the civilians you want. They might even prove a challenge for the cops. But the soldiers over here will wipe the floor with them. They're not a professional fighting force. So, do with that what you will. They're good for harassing. They're good for breaking up a police checkpoint or a militia-held area, performing raids, or taking out a small squad of soldiers that's highly outnumbered. But they're not going to be winning a full-on war with the soldiers. And that covers our non-hero soldiers. We will be coming back to cover the rest of them. We do have the RPG unit, I suppose, but he's kind of a niche unit. He shoots rockets. The rockets have an area of effect. You'll see, he'll blow up the entire area. It leaves a crater. That rocket can miss. If it misses, it can hit whatever's behind it, vehicle, barricade, wall. It'll damage walls. It can damage other units. So if there's soldiers up in there, they'll get exploded on. It can kill them. They can survive it, but friendly fire is something to keep in mind. They will tear up your own barricades. So if it's going off next to a barricade, you're probably going to lose that barricade from him before the zombies. So he's kind of the last one there. He's got a really good utility you'll see in the zombie video. But again, he's there. He only has one gun. He doesn't have any other abilities or anything. But he's a good one to keep in mind. I'll go on, pop out of this video here, and we'll be moving on to heroes next. I'll see you guys there.